going on, boxing fans? It's Julian Williams with the distance. I'm here answering mailbag question here late from Space Cowboy. I haven't done one of these in a while, but anyway, so I'm a bit rusty and I'm a bit off from it. But this one is what fighters do I think could beat in their prime could have beaten Rocky Marciano? There's a lot of fighters that I can name, that could possibly defeated Rocky Marciano. What I'm thinking about doing is I'm thinking about starting up kind of another series. I do want to talk about the history of the heavyweight division. I want to make it maybe a 10-part video talking about the history of the heavyweight division, the different eras involved. Because I did have a blog, and I wrote in the blog my take on the history of the heavyweight division and how it flip-flopped with champions, and what and who are great champions, what people thought of these champions. Something I wrote about, but I'm thinking about doing maybe a 10-part series, last maybe a total of 2 weeks of coming on and just talking about the heavyweight division and the history involved, because the heavyweight division has a very big, rich legacy and history behind it, and as far as the American culture goes in the worldwide realm of things, the heavyweight division is what really stands out. But honestly, the Rocky Marciano era, Rocky to me, I think, is another champion who either you love him or you hate him. There's people that debate, if he could defeat, people like Muhammad Ali, Floyd Patterson, Sonny Liston, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, fighters like that. There's a lot of people that put him up against these guys, and put him up against these guys, and they're like, well, this guy beats him easily, this guy beats him easily, that guy beats him easily. But don't forget, one of the most skilled fighters of all time, who is Ezra Charles, one of my favorites. One of the most skilled fighters of all time. He defeated him twice. And Ezra Charles was a technician and tactician in the ring. So take that in consideration, that Rocky Marciano, not only did he defeat, a skilled fighter in Ezra Charles, but there was another, pretty good fighter in Jersey Joe Walcott. Defeated Jersey Joe Walcott, knocked him out with probably the hardest left hook of all time. And I don't even think the Vladimir Klitschko left hook from when he defeated Eddie Chambers is anything, or Ray Austin's anything compared to that left hook that he landed on Jersey Joe Walcott. That just straight up put him to sleep and on the ropes. Had him on his was on his feet, and then had him down on the second rope, arm in between the rope or whatever. But there's fighters there's a lot of fighters I could name that could possibly defeat Rocky Marciano. I've done a few fantasy matches with Marciano. I have another one coming up with Tyson very soon. But just going down the list, I think that he would have trouble against like a George Foreman. He'd have trouble against possibly Sonny Liston. Definitely Muhammad Ali, fighter with a lot of movement and charismatic ability in the ring. I'd say, and you can go as far as to say he would probably have trouble against Vitaly Klitschko. I think Vitaly Klitschko would probably give some trouble with the size involved, size and the fact that he knows how to use his reach to an advantage. Lennox Lewis, maybe Lennox Lewis. Because he knew how to use his size to his advantage, knew how to fight big, knew how to move, knew how to use his jab, knew how to set up his knockout, but at the same time knew how to box. Those are really fighters I could think of that could defeat Rocky Marciano. There's really nobody else I could think of that could defeat him, but take in consideration that he did retire the heavyweight champion. I do think, and another fighter I'm thinking of right now, I think Larry Holmes. I think beats Rocky Marciano as well. But But taking into consideration in his era, being 48, 49-0, retiring as a champion, retiring undefeated was a big thing because no other heavyweight champion had ever done that. Something that nobody's ever done. Not Sam Langford, not Jack Johnson, Max Schmeling, Joe Louis, James J. Braddock, I don't know if I said Jack Dempsey or not, Jim Corbett, and even as far as Ali, Frazier, Liston, Patterson, Tyson, and even Lewis, who, even though he had losses on his resume, he did avenge those losses. But you think of the history of the heavyweight division. Though Rocky was in a different era, Rocky didn't fight the same fighters that Ali fought. He didn't fight the same fighters that Lewis fought. He didn't fight the same fighters that Klitschko's is fighting now. The Klitschko's are fighting right now. Take that into consideration, that he didn't fight these guys, and didn't fight the same level of opposition that they were facing. Was Rocky Marciano a bum? That's the question that's raised among a lot of people in the boxing community. Not the YouTube boxing community, but boxing in general. Was Rocky a bum due to the era of heavyweights and the quality of heavyweights that he's faced in the past? I wouldn't call Rocky Marciano a bum. Why? Because there are some great fighters from the past that he would probably defeat. I think that Rocky has a chance against. I think he does have a chance against a Mike Tyson. I think he does have a chance against an older George Foreman. Not a younger, but an older George Foreman. I think he has a chance against Michael Moore. I think he has a chance against. He has a big time puncher's chance against Lennox Lewis. I think possibly I'd give him a 45% chance that he could knock Lewis the fuck out. Larry Holmes, I think he could possibly, get to him. Just possibly. I think he could possibly zero in on him, but I just think Holmes beats him. But I think he could beat him as well. The odds are even with that. But Rocky, overall, taking consideration, the era that he fought in, and really, it wasn't really Rocky's fault that he fought these fighters. It's not his fault that he came up in this era of heavyweights. But though he defeated an older Joe Louis, an older Jersey Joe, and pretty much a near prime, I'll say a prime Ezzard Charles. Rocky, you definitely can't call him a bum because oh yeah, and Archie Moore, of course, heavyweight Archie Moore. But these fighters, aren't these fighters some all-time greats. So I can't call Rocky Marciano a bum, but I'll tell you, and I'm kind of going all over the place with this video, but I'll tell you 3 fighters at the top of my head that hands down defeat Rocky Marciano. Young Muhammad Ali, I think hands down defeats Rocky Marciano. Hands down, I do think that Vili Klitschko, who I think skill is underrated, I think he beats a Rocky Marciano. And I think that a young George Foreman, not the older one, I think the younger George Foreman beats Rocky Marciano. Anyway, that was my mailbag question. If anybody who has questions, just send it to my mailbox or my inbox or whatever, excuse me. I'll answer on video. But anyway, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.